London for all, not for the rich. London for all, not just for the rich.
What do we want? When do we want it?
Why did you come today? I'm here as a protest against the social cleansing of London.
I'm concerned about what's going on, and I want to make a change, and I want housing for all, affordable housing.
I'm a single mum, and I'm here to say sort it out. Diggs was founded in 2012 by local residents, angry, frustrated and outraged at poor living conditions, lack of security and astronomical rents.
Rent is, going up and up. It's not equal. There's no equality. There's no justice. People are being evicted. It's time to do something.
I came today because I'm a Green Party candidate and I also support the whole March for the Homeless. We don't have a coherent policy for homes in this country. We haven't had for the last two governments.
Luxury apartments and homes, no social housing, rent increases constantly going up all the time and people being moved out of their areas.
Oh, thank you very much. Have a good day.
And you, a wet one.
As the biggest union representing housing workers, I want to bring a message of unity and solidarity. That workers and tenants and residents, we have to fight together. For one simple reason. Housing is a basic human need and it can't be sacrificed to profit.
You may be affected by a housing issue of some description. Share the stories of how you've been affected. Use your voice to raise the issues you're facing. And let's build the anger into action. Build the housing campaigns in every community across the country. And get the demand. We want affordable housing for all, and we will not stop until we make sure homelessness is evicted to history, because this is the 5th richest country on earth, and no one should be homeless.
I work as a volunteer once a week for a homeless shelter, and we have no really coherent provision for men in this country for homes. They are right down at the bottom of the ladder.
Last October, the South London People's Assembly met in Lambeth, and we decided we wanted to march for homes, because housing is one of the greatest issues facing Londoners. We have the most unprotected tenants in Europe. Nowhere else could people treated like this. This is why we must start a movement of protest against this. We must end the housing crisis. We must end the exploitation of people. We must end homelessness. This is just the start. This is the start of a year of protest. We're going to march and march again and build a movement to make this society more equal and to make sure that everybody has a secure home as a right. Housing should be for people, not for the profit of landlords.
680 homes being bulldozed in their place, on their park is being built now. This monstrosity of 2,000 luxury apartments being marketed around the world. You've got 3 groups of people on the estate that they're trying their best to divide. You've got the secure tenants like Mitzi who are being rehomed on a traffic island. And it's not going to be council homes, it's going to be housing association. You've got the non-secure tenants who are being shipped out to wherever. And the leaseholders, the people who exercise their right to buy, they're being offered well below what they can't buy anywhere else. The offer started at 110,000 for a 2-bedroom maisonette. It's gradually gone up to 175,000. The new homes that are going up in their place are on the market for 420,000.
We want our elected representatives to stop selling off our homes and start building the secure and genuinely affordable homes Londoners need.
We've already seen that tenants can fight back and win.
In August 2013, Newham Council tried to send us out of London to Manchester, Hastings and Birmingham, away from our support networks and family. Me and 28 other mums stood together and said we're not going to be moved out of London. We want social housing, not social cleansing.
People are being street homeless in Newham while the Carpenters estate is empty. Over 400 homes empty. So there was an occupation. People might have been down there last September, October, when we proved to Newham Labour Mayor that there are homes, that they are in good condition, that they need people in them.
I'm absolutely delighted to be here today. We represent workers in housing associations, and what I think most people don't realise in this sector, in housing associations, many people have the image that these are organisations who are dedicated to helping the homeless, dedicated to providing low-cost homes to people for rent. What actually is the case now, and increasingly over the years, is that these have become massive, massive businesses. As the rest of the other sectors have become poorer, housing associations have got steadily richer, and there's only one way they can do that. Is by creaming off massive rents from the people who rent their properties. It is not social housing. We're finding now that they're starting to exit these markets. Anything that requires support and care for people, they're not interested in anymore. That's not where the big bucks are, and that's what they're interested in. So we in the United Housing Workers branch, we know that there is massive common cause between the people who work in housing associations and the people who live in housing association properties.
People shouldn't be forced into private rented accommodation they can't afford. Private rents are too expensive, they're insecure contracts.
Parents unable to provide secure homes for their children, not knowing where they're going to be in school next year. The stress of having to move every 8 months and losing your support networks. What are our choices? What is the prospect of getting out and finding housing in different sectors? None. Where's the social housing? Where are the co-ops? Where's the rent control? Well, today we say no. Sort it out. Terrible conditions, often health-threatening, exploitative landlords and exorbitant prices. Annual price hikes in rent of up to 30%.
Affordable housing is in no way affordable. It's 80% of market rate, with rents up to £2,400 a month. Working class people can't afford rents like this.
We want change. We want change in the private renting sector if that's where we're going to live. If that's where we're going to bring up our children and create lifelong communities.
Have you seen like old buildings being demolished and new buildings being put up for rich people?
Yes.
And how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel sad because some of these new flats, they lay empty for months and months on end.
We need homes for people. We need homes for craftsmen. We need homes for railway workers, for low-paid workers, for nurses in London, in the city. We don't need tower blocks made for investors to rent out to people at vastly inflated rents.
I thought this demonstration might be an opportunity to come together, to join up everyone who's been fighting to defend their homes. But it's more than that, because we've got so many people here today. We're showing that we can unite and fight together.
And it's important we're united, because in this election that's coming up in 100 days' time, they are going to try and divide us.
They say immigrants are taking our homes. I say look at any building site. Immigrants are building our homes, are building our schools, are building our hospitals. If the government built more houses rather than selling them off and not using the money to build more houses, we wouldn't be in this mess. The billions they spend fighting wars should be spent on building houses instead. And if they stopped bailing out the banks, if they stopped propping up their mates by letting them get away with tax avoidance and fiddling the MPs' expenses, there'd be plenty of money for homes. We talk all the time of political freedom, of freedom of speech, of freedom of assembly and so on, but none of these mean very much if you don't have a roof over your head. So stop blaming single parents, stop blaming working people, stop blaming migrants, and start building homes for all. Well done to everybody today.
My dad was an Irish building worker, and he used to say to me, when a racist tells you to go home to Ireland, he says, what should we take first? The roads we built, the hospitals we built, the homes we built. Migrants built this community together, whether it's in homes or in housing. We built them together and we will defend them together.
Look out for the West Hendon petition, sign it. We've got 79,000 signatures on that petition. We're going to try and start some more actions around West Hendon and Dulwich Valley and Graham Park and Stone Grove and everywhere else.
Today is a fantastic demonstration and we have to build a movement, not just over housing, but our NHS, about decent pay for people. Housing has to be an essential part of it. Let's carry on from the unity we've got today. Let's fight to build a future fit for us all.
Focus E15 has a street stall every Saturday from 12 till 2 outside Stratford Broadway. And it's important that we get on the streets, talk to our neighbours, talk to people in our communities and stand together.
What would you like to see happen?
More social housing, to be honest, more housing for people that need it. Because homelessness is a problem as well. And there's just not enough, secure accommodation. And people, I've got friends and relatives who've been moved outside London, far away from family. And it's just hurtful that people are not taking these things into consideration.
We are winning already, but we won't keep winning unless we are organising, as other comrades said, on the streets, every day, every week in our communities. It isn't going to happen from a big march. You could have 1 billion, 2 billion people on a march. If we do nothing tomorrow, this doesn't mean anything at all. It's just a day out, it's a picnic.
Your part of the job is to pick that up and get stuck in with one of those organisations and build this so that the next March for Homes is 10 times as big and can stop the whole of London. Unite and fight! Unite and fight! Unite and fight! Unite and fight! Thanks to everybody for coming, everybody who gave out a leaflet, to the Bargee Travellers who organised. We're all part of this movement, but from today we need to lift off and build it 10 times as strong. Thanks to everybody.
Solidarity and well done to all of you on the march.
So we will stand together and say no to social cleansing, yes to social housing, repopulate the Carpenters estate and all the boarded up council estates, stop building luxury apartments, and victory to all of us because we will win.
Who's home? Who's home? Who's city? Who's city?